Domo domo! What is up, everybody? This is official JUJUTSU KAISEN translator Steady here. So Mei Mei coming in strong this week. I'm reminded of Agent Carter and Zhang Ziyi's character in Rush Hour 2.
We could have been a good couple. We could have had something special. But you one crazy ass.
It's got this cool, super flaunting kind of thing, but she's crazy. But we've got that and more in chapter 98 of JUJUTSU KAISEN this week, so let's get right into it. Welcome back to another Manga Lounge, JUJUTSU KAISEN edition. So we are here today for chapter 98. And of course, as always, I invite you to, every week, grab a little drink, treat yourself, make sure you have your Shonen Jump app with you if you'd like to kind of follow along. I'll have, panels throughout the video and stuff as well, but if you really want to kind of get in depth. But of course, the Manga Lounge is a place for those of you that have read the chapter for the week, read it a few times, but want to get a little bit more, want to kind of take it to the next level. And hopefully I'll be able to offer you something that maybe you didn't catch in the chapter. Perhaps give your brain something to kind of think about and kind of enjoy it from a different angle. But this week, I am joined by, we got Choso, we got Geto or Geto, and of course we have Toji right there. And perfect timing this week. It looks like we've got some Toji action, and of course we'll be going into that as well. And of course, you'll have to give me a second here to kind of show these guys off. If you're watching the video, maybe you already have your hands on them already, but they definitely are available on Amazon right now for sale. Albeit it's in total you'll be saving about $350 or so US dollars if you get both, but not a bad deal. A couple of new releases, so definitely check that out. I'll have it linked if you are interested. Otherwise, hey, let's just get right into it, alright? As always, cheers. In Japanese, of course. Kanpai. Say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Kanpai. Got a little, yeah. Mixed up a little drink for myself. So this week, obviously, we kind of pick up after chapter 97's conclusion of the Fushidori. I need to get used to saying that. I kind of always have to think about that. But Fushiguro, Itadori, Fushidori seems like that's kind of the way that the Japanese fans say it too. So maybe we'll be able to kind of apply it to the Western fans as well. But Fushidori end up defeating Awasaka, and obviously right here on page 1 take out the remaining two pegs, these kind of temporary curtains. And then, but as Itadori points out here, apparently it's just the curtain that doesn't let sorcerers from entering. Right, the whole thing, the one that was keeping basically all the groups from getting to Gojo. Mei Mei was like, hey, you need to take that one out so we can actually even get to Gojo in the first place. Because once this curtain is down, although the other ones are up, now the sorcerers are able to move freely, right? The curtain that traps Satoru Gojo is the other one, the one that's in the middle. And then in the innermost circle, in the outermost circle, you have the curtains that trap civilians. So the curtain that traps civilians right around the platform, right outside of that, is the one that traps Gojo. And the one around Shibuya, the big one, is also another one that traps civilians. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on, because there's so many kind of events going on right now, I do have a map that I'll kind of throw up here real quick to kind of give you an idea of what's going on and what everyone's position is. And this is definitely kind of a rough estimate, although I went back through the chapters and kind of researched a little bit, and it should be pretty accurate. Not quite exact, but it should be pretty accurate. So this is at the end of, by the point of the end of chapter 98, right? So it seems like, and I keep on talking about this, that maybe the Nobara group, Nobara Grupu, Maki, Naobito, and Nobara, as well as Nita, maybe aren't quite in the loop that Gojo is sealed. It's something that I've pointed out in previous chapters, and it seems like that might be the case, that, you know, when Yuji screamed out, hey, Gojo is sealed, that Nobara's group weren't quite in the mix, so they're kind of out of the loop as far as that's concerned. Unfortunately, it looks like Ino definitely is not looking so hot. That face right here on page 4 that Itadori has looking at Ino's face, well, even he's shooken up. You know, and obviously it's his friend and stuff, but yeah, that expression right there by Itadori really kind of sells it, like, well, he's not okay. But like Fushiguro says, he's not dead, but he's definitely not okay. Which obviously Nanami, kind of in the middle of the chapter, we also see that Nanami runs into Yujichi. So he's pissed off about that, and if he catches wind that Ino got hit too, oh man, he's gonna be pissed. And Nanami is one guy that you don't want to piss off, right? But then of course right here we have Granny Ogami with the grandchild here, now Toji, and the twist here that apparently you know, that Toji kind of took over, kind of rewrote the rules a little bit. Obviously, we learned in the flashback that his body is kind of something special. He has a heavenly restriction, right? And that has given him immense physical prowess in return of not having cursed energy, kind of like Maki, basically. And perhaps Itadori to a degree as well, although I think Itadori might be kind of a different case. I mean, he's the Shonen Jump protagonist. There's always kind of stipulations with their powers and stuff, right? But yeah, this whole line right here, who the hell you think you're giving orders to? Yeah. Just this face too, I absolutely love it. But yeah, so there's just kind of this explanation that that this kind of whole idea of this seance ability, kind of a necromancer, and we're not sure whether it's only Granny Ogami. I have a feeling that there's going to be other people as well. Obviously, we've seen Ino have it in kind of his beasts, being able to summon beasts, so it can't be just the two of them, right? There's got to be more people, and it's kind of scary to think what else we might be seeing in the future, and also kind of cool to think about what we can see in the future as well. And then, of course, this, oh, you want me to kill sorcerers, huh? I guess that includes you. Yeah, so she's done for. But yeah, just kind of this little back and forth on page 8 and 9 here between Fushiguro and Itadori. Just kind of, you know, Itadori is he's very kind of wants to move on his emotions and stuff, but I like Fushiguro kind of dialing it back here and being like, hey man, we got to think about our priorities here, but at the same time, Fushiguro is realistic about, yeah, like, we need to start making moves here, or else, like, we're just on the defensive, right? So I like this little line on the second panel on page 9 where he says, yeah, that's actually the best move, but going it alone in Shibuya right now. So he's like, yeah, we actually need to start getting numbers into the station to see what's going on with Gojo, or else. But then obviously on the panel right here, if you die, I'll kill you, right? This is a nice little throwback to a previous chapter right here, during the Goodwill event, where Fushiguro is, you know, saying to Todo and Itadori, and it's of course to Itadori specifically, saying, if you die, I'm gonna kill you, man. Just kind of that paradoxical line, but this is what I love about Fushiguro. I mean, at first glance, he kind of has this like brooding, cool guy kind of aesthetic, but he's really such a teddy bear, and I absolutely love that about him. He's a lot more endearing, and not to say, you know, obviously the comparison here is kind of like to Sasuke, or, you know, I don't know, those kind of characters. But not to say that Sasuke's not a bad character or whatever, but I have I'd say that Fushiguro is a little bit more kind of, he's endearing when it comes down to it, right? And the kind of revelation here that Mekamaru seems to be kind of out of commission. I think that maybe Mekamaru, because kind of based on what he said before, that he's kind of saving his energy right now. He's not done yet, but he's like, I'm on my last leg here, and I need to save my last few words for when it counts, kind of deal, I think is what's going on. Otherwise, it would be a little bit too like, oh, he's done, which I don't think it is. I love this dynamic between them. They're just like that bromance, you know? Like, I'm not much for like ships and stuff, all that, but like, I'm not gonna lie, I like a good bromance. And this is exactly where I'm kind of excited to start maybe a little segment here. If you guys are interested in this kind of thing, maybe I'll keep doing it each week, but just take a little moment here to introduce something called the art of cinematography. It's something that I've done on my Twitter before, and I'd like to kind of introduce in my weekly videos, just a real quick segment where I came up with this word called cinematography. So cinematography mixed with manga. The way that manga uses different techniques, whether it be kind of camera work or pacing, to introduce this kind of sense of movement or kind of a emotional kind of response. So for this week's art of cinematography, I want to talk about pages 10 and 11. So on page 10, we have this really nice little moment, even in this kind of heat of battle, and obviously we have Ino kind of in serious trouble right here, but this kind of endearing moment between Fushiguro and Itadori, and Fushiguro's line right here where he says, "I'll see you later." "I'll see you later" here is more kind of on the lines of, "Hey, I'll check you later. We're gonna link up again later, right?" It kind of has that tone to it instead of like, "All right, well, see you later." And I love this little panel right here with Itadori, and just the way that these three panels here, obviously you'll see in a lot of manga these days where people are just kind of popping out of panels, and we have Fushiguro popping out of his panel and Itadori kind of popping out of his panel too, almost to kind of create this connection here. Even though it is separate panels, it kind of creates that illusion where they are looking at each other, and I really like that. And of course, the way that we also have Ino in the background here, it creates that illusion almost. The fact that Fushiguro is popping out of the frame, it creates this illusion where even though it is the same panel, we have Ino and Nue kind of in the background, and I love that illusion. So we have this little endearing moment, and then boom, we're hit with this page right here with Nanami. First you see his face, and then immediately your eyes go to Ijichi on the ground. And it's so powerful the way that works, especially in conjunction with the page before it. And this is kind of the little cinematography technique that I really love here. We're kind of given a moment to breathe, and then all of a sudden, you know, in the back of our head, we're wondering, oh, is Ijichi okay? And then he does not look okay. I don't know, like, it's hard to tell whether he's dead. It's hard to know, but that's what kind of gets the readers kind of heart racing too, right? Like, what's going on here? Nanami does not look happy. It's not like this kind of, are you okay? It's like he's shell-shocked right now, and obviously with kind of, he doesn't even know what's happening with Ino, so it's kind of scary. But I do really love the way that the camera works here. You see his face first in that sense of shock, and then the camera pans behind Nanami, looking down, and then you see the scene. No words necessary, just camera work, and it's so powerful. That is this week's art of cinematography. Let me know if you do like this kind of thing. I mean, I'm probably going to do it anyways because I enjoy talking about it, whether you like it or not. No, but yeah, if you like this kind of thing, let me know as well what your favorite panels of the manga as well. If you want to comment, of course, it's a way of me getting you to comment a little bit more. I'm going to be honest about that. I'm not gonna say like, oh, you know how YouTubers are kind of like, comment about whatever the hell you want down here. I don't really like that. Of course, feel free to comment if you want, and if you don't, you don't have to. But I definitely do enjoy hearing you guys different opinions and things like that. But anyways, so that's Art of Cinematography. Let's move on. And then now we are down back into the kind of the underground, the subway, right outside of what we can assume is where Gojo is. So they came from Harajuku and heading south towards Shibuya. So right now, Mei Mei and Uyui should be kind of north of where Gojo is, but pretty close, and they're just waiting for this curtain to go down. And it's revealed here that Mei Mei, her technique is just being able to control crows, which is kind of a, oh really? And I love how they kind of really address it here and says like, yeah, it's not that strong, is it? Because we had kind of assumed that Mei Mei, of course we'd seen her control crows before, but we thought maybe there was kind of a more of a different angle to it, maybe not just crows, or maybe being able to kind of like summon crows or like something like that. But it seems like that's not just it. Well, that is it, I mean. And this panel right here, like, I mean, the way that it's almost kind of like a JoJo pose, right? I love it. Just the way that she's so stylish and kind of reminds me of like Bayonetta, almost kind of like very flaunting and very stylish. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. But then just the way that Uyui is always kind of like supporting the sis, Mei Mei in the back, just kind of like, hey, shut up, she's still talking. I love it. And even after she kind of says these kind of things about like, yeah, so I really trained my physique, which I really love this kind of message too, because in the world of jujutsu sorcery, it always kind of seems like, oh, whether you're good or not just depends on your curse technique and you're kind of born with it or not. But that's why characters like Mei Mei or Maki or like even Todo, like his power is, yeah, powerful, but the technique itself wouldn't be useful unless he really kind of honed his physique and just kind of strategy and his, not just the body but the brain as well. That's why Todo is such a great character too, even though he's very kind of different, but he's awesome. But then just this little kind of humor, of course, Akutami Sensei always good with the little humor moments. Clap, 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 clap. I love it. And then the next panel on page 15, where Uyu is like, hey, applaud. And then the guy's like, okay. It's just so funny. But Mei Mei always has this like sense of like, yeah, I'm just kind of looking out for myself. I just wanted to kill some time by talking. I love that so much. And this kind of concept right here where Mei Mei talks about the service potential is life itself for me. So this idea of the service potential, or if you're familiar with something, I had to do a little bit of research as well, something called the usufruct. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the usufruct means kind of the value that something has in terms of kind of like a monetary value, whether it be right now or the potential for it. So I love how, and this is what I mean when I say Mei Mei is crazy, she says the service potential, which is just another way of kind of saying the usufruct potential, is life itself for me. She's basically saying all I care about is how I can use other people, is what she's saying. And it's so great. I love this little caption in the bottom too, where it says, this concept is not applicable to humans, probably. And that's what Akutami Sensei says. Like, typically this isn't something that's supposed to be applied to human beings. It's supposed to be applied to things like real estate or like assets or you know, like physical assets as well. But so this little kind of like, it's not supposed to be meant for humans, probably, but Mei Mei does. But then they notice here that the curtain has gone down, so Gojo should be right around the corner here. So she's going to be entering the fray soon, we would think. And just this line, just thinking about how much of a favor to Satoru Gojo, let me do that again. Just thinking about how much a favor to Satoru Gojo would cost. Saying basically, hey, if he owes me a favor, and then this panel right here gets my heart racing. And just this look, she's like, she's almost kind of getting off on it. Not in like a super weird way, but kind of. But that just kind of goes to show like how much, even if you think back in the flashback, Mei Mei, how she was kind of, when, you know, in the very first pages where she's like, oh Gojo, you can take me out anytime you want. Like my initial thought was like, oh, she kind of thinks that he's hot or this and that, but we know now that most likely she was just trying to kind of get on his good side, get some favors along the way, because she knows that he's big time in the Jujutsu world and he's valuable. The surface potential is there, right? And then the final page here, we run into, remember, we don't have a name for this person yet, but the ponytail with the hand sword thing, kind of like Adam's Family kind of deal going on, is from the flashback arc as well, right? He had, I'm pretty sure it's he had originally fought Principal Gakuganji. Remember, the guitar was against him, and then he kind of ran away immediately because Gojo had entered the fray. And he was like, oh, I'm done, I'm out of here. But yeah, it looks like Nita has somehow kind of met up with the Nobara group, and Nobara and Nita are now separated from Maki. Maybe even they're kind of all going their own ways, but I'm assuming that Maki is still with Naobito zen'in. But of course we know what their relationship is, right, from the flashbacks. But yeah, that is chapter 98. I appreciate you guys sticking around for a little bit longer one this week. I kind of see how long I've been filming, but yeah, it's chapter 98 done. 99, chapter 100 right around the corner. But anyways, man, I haven't touched my drink at all. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying your drinks, following along. But yeah, I'm don't really have too much to say this week. Had a lot to say already, so not much more. Just want to say, hey, thanks for watching. And hold on, let me see if I remember how I did it. I think I remember how I did it last week. I you know how I usually do my you know how we do mata yoroshiku. Mata yoroshiku, by the way, is we'll see you again, basically. So I usually say, you know how we do, mata yoroshiku, but I'm going to add one more to that and say, cheers to you. You know how we do, mata yoroshiku.